Another Ndqpaid video. This is going to be a how to find entries and exits, what has happened throughout this week, previous weeks, and just a little bit of news update. So let's get right into it. Let's open it up to our trading view chart. So let's just pay attention to the Nasdaq 100 for now. Let's drop it down to the 1 minute time frame up here at the top. So 1 minute time frame, what we're looking at right now, we can currently see that the market is bullish. It is holding above the 800 EMA, which is this blue line, 200 EMA, which is the white one, which would always be in the middle, the mayonnaise, and then the market on top, right? So as we can see before that, previously the market was in a bearish territory. As we can see, it pulled outside from previous day, which was Wednesday. We had the 9:30 session, as you can see at the bottom. 9:30 session pulled us all the way up. We had the retracement kind of back down, but we can see that the 800 200 EMA crossed here, and then we pushed all the way up to the highs. So this would have potentially been a resistance 2 or 3. We know that once it usually pushes out to resistance 1 and 2, it doesn't necessarily have to go to 3, right? Especially on the days where there's not a lot of volume. Same thing in correlation to as support 3. So it'll go to support 1 and 2, but not necessarily always support 3. So keep that into your back of your mind. But just like I'm saying, we were up here at the highs. From there, we would have seen a red sun B signal sell, and then we would have the sell indication around here. We can see that the market sold from there. 200 EMA crossed with the 800 EMA. So 800 EMA would be on the top, 200 in the middle, and then the market is selling, right? And then from there, we could just find entry or our exits from as toward, just like I'm saying, support 1, 2, 3, or either average daily range low or outside of yesterday's low, anything along the lines of that would be good correlation, right? So let's pull that up on our chart right here so you guys can kind of see that on our CXM. Give me a moment, not sure as to why it's not pulling up. Okay, there we go. So here's our CXM, as you guys can see. Same correlation. We had that push outside, as you guys can see, yesterday's low, and then this is where our entry would be. Blue buy right here, B signal, and then from there we pushed up, as you guys can see. 9:30 session as well, we had that buy, so you can continue to hold that from there. It all depends on how you want to trade your account. You can catch one of these buys in the day or one of these sells and make your $100, $200 for the day, and you're done, right? Whenever we have those big moves as to where the market is pushing as towards one side, we are holding above the 800 EMA, 200 EMA, continuing to push for days on end, then okay, we can see those $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 back to back, right? But when the market is consolidating as towards like this, right? Thursday is looking like a Wednesday, the market is just within this same position, right? As in towards, I'm saying market opened here 6 p.m. and we can kind of see it hasn't really even stretched anywhere, right? It's right here. It's still within the 9:30 box. As you guys can see, this is the 9:30 session that happened, and it's 3:40 p.m. right now, and the market is literally still holding here, right? So that is just good correlation to show you that today is not a trading day. Possibly, yes, it would be good to hold your sells that you have entered possibly from earlier today before the 9 o'clock session, or yesterday before market close for the buy. But overall, still, as you guys can see, it's still within the same area, and we are very close to this average daily range high, which would be our take profit areas. And just like I'm saying, we usually don't always go to resistance 3 or support 3. As you can see here, we're holding above the pivot. Resistance 1 is right here. This is where our average daily range is, and then resistance 2 is literally here where yesterday's high is. So we would be fighting to break outside of here, right? But in regards onto higher time frame, as you can see, if you open it up, this is the same correlation that, as you can see to here. Just let me pull it up on the 5 minute as well, so you can see this is the same bounces that were happening here on Monday, right? So we had that pull down here outside of 800 200 EMA. It's not going to look exactly the same on both of these. But regardless, if we can see that this is a support zone that has been created here, we can see it came here on Monday around 7 a.m. on the 19th, and then around the 21st and the 22nd is still bouncing here to pull back up. It hasn't sold off, right? Anytime we held under the 800 and the 200 EMA, we haven't continued to drop down side, right, towards where we were May 9th, right, May 12th, right? You can see I'm still holding entry from that buy right there, that bounce. 800, 200 EMA, no cross, market just shot up from there, continue to help, right? So same thing with the 5-minute on the MT4, right? We can see that here Monday we had that push outside the 800, 200 EMA. There's our buy, right? Here's our buy, right? Monday push outside 800, 200 EMA. Then we have our B signal buy within here with the triangle. You can also hold on this and highlight to see what it is. This blue line here is a resist or a support on the, let's see, this is a support on the daily, okay, and then this one here is a support on the 1 hour, right? So we have a support on the daily, support on the 1 hour, and then from there we can see that the market continued to be bullish, right? This is this whole 9:30 session on Monday. Whole 9:30 session on Monday continued to be bullish all the way upside outside of our yesterday's high, right? So yesterday's high was here. This would have been our resistance area. As we can see, it broke outside of it, came back down, went back up. This is our resistance 1 from right now, and then it came back up, came down to resistance 1, broke outside of it again, and then it waited till after 6 o'clock session. So that would be Monday 6, 7 o'clock. It opened towards the upside, and then you can see it sold all the way back down for the rest of the day on Tuesday, right? But that is still in correlation to that Wednesday, right? Because even if you were to catch this trade here on Mondays, buy that all the way up, you exit out of your buys here after the 6 o'clock, or even if you were to exit before that, before it closed, right? Because sometimes you don't necessarily want to hold trades over the 5 to 6 o'clock break, right? It is not recommended to do that, right? So you break outside of there, you close your trades, you sell from here, you're gonna get your red sun, triangle, B signal, sell. This is a resistance on the 15-minute. You sell all the way from here. You hold that 3, 4 o'clock in the morning session, pulls up. It doesn't come back to here. You continue to hold that. Market consolidates. 9 o'clock session, pulls all the way down. So, right, that's still in correlation to as the market's pulling away from your trade right here at the top, right? And then as you can see, it broke outside the 800 EMA. These would be the things that I'm waiting like to see if I'm going to continue to hold this trade or I'm going to come out, right? As you guys can see, it's continuing to break, right? And then we know Wednesday reversal day, it's going to reverse what it did the previous day. So if the previous day it sold, it's going to buy the next day. So as you guys can see, it continued to do that. So 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, we had that sell down here, but a little bit before that, as you guys can see, around 8 and then 9 o'clock session, market bought all the way up to where it was on Tuesday and Monday. So this resistance here is verified. Now you can see that this resistance here is saying that's verified 2 times, right? Because it came up here to the top and it didn't break. So realistically, if you were to be holding your sells here and you never came out until your Wednesday, you bought up here, right? You bought here, held all the way up to your sells, and then you sold here again, closed your buys, you'd still be in positive correlation till right now, right? But that Wednesday, there's no way you wouldn't be closing these trades, right? Because just like we're seeing on higher time frames, if you bump it up 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, the market is bullish, right? Regardless if it's saying sell, yes, it's saying sell, the market is bullish, right? As you can see, these big red flat lines here, these are support on the week, support on the daily, right? And you can see that these bounces on the 800 EMA are happening very significantly, right? Very tight, right? Even the 200 EMA, we're getting these nice bounces, diamond clusters, right? TDI, bearish, bullish divergence, right? It's still doesn't matter, right? Because overall we can see that the market is going up. So, right, we're in bullish territory, just like I'm saying. Once the 800 EMA, which is this black line, and the 200 EMA, which is this blue line in the case scenario, but it should be white, the mayonnaise, once it's in the middle, the market will always continue to buy, right? Just like you guys see here, since the start of the week, the market has been consolidating. For the whole last week, the market bought all the way up. From the whole last week of that, the market did have its consolidation days from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but then it started its continuation, right? But that was just a cool off from what was happening from the week previous towards that, right? So as you guys see, every week that's being stacked on top of each other, it's just bullish, right? We don't see a whole bunch of resistance being created here. We see a whole bunch of support, weak support, untested support, verified support, turncoat support, right? Turncoat support is a previous resistance that is now turn support, right? So that is just more correlation to show you that this market is bullish, right? But short little quick video, how to find entries and exits, little bit of insight of what's been going on. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll get back to you all soon, and love y'all. Turn up.